Well, hello and welcome in, everybody. Hello, it is February 25th, 2026. And welcome. Thank you for being here. I am sorry I was a little bit confused on the time. I am in a different time zone. No joke. And my phone's changed, my computer's changed. But little did I know my StreamYard was on Florida time, honey. It's on its own time. So there's that. I'll give everybody a minute to come in. I hope everybody is doing well today. And I just wanted to come in and say hello. We are going to talk about Nancy today. I do want to let y'all know I might do a live stream in a little bit if I get done quick enough on Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. I don't like to miss the two, but as we know, and I do want to go ahead and acknowledge this is the 2-year mark of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers missing from his Hendersonville home, who is still missing. And he's been missing from Sumner County for 2 years now. And if anyone knows anything, they need to call us in and please say something. But welcome in, everybody, and thank you for being here. We're going to talk about Nancy tonight, and we're going to talk about what's been going on. I just wanted to do a quick hello and update a little bit. There's been a lot going on in this case, some wild and crazy stuff, and well, I hope everybody in the bushes is doing good. I hope everybody hits that thumbs up. Come on in. I hope everybody is staying warm. This weather has dropped a little bit again. Even in Florida, before I got where I'm going, which is where I'm at, which is who knows. Anyway, it got cold again. It got cold again, right? Cold. What is going on? Mother Nature don't like us anymore. Mother Nature just don't like us. Whew. Well, I don't know what to say about it, but we are all needing to stay warm, and I pray you are. So go ahead, hit the like button, like, share, subscribe. Today's update is focused entirely on this ongoing search for Nancy Guthrie, the 83-year-old mother of Today's Show co-host Savannah Guthrie, who's been missing now for 24 days. Nancy is 84 years old, the mother of Savannah. Like I said, she also has Annie, her daughter, and her son, Cameron. They're missing their mother. She was a grandmother, is a grandmother, and she was last seen on the night of January 31st, early hour morning of February 1st, 2026, in Tucson, Arizona. She was taken from her home. She's been gone ever since. She was reported missing when she didn't show up to reportedly, allegedly, when she didn't appear for a scheduled church live stream, right? And this case has been everywhere. It's been all over the place. But in the last few days, it's got real wild. It's got some real attention. I mean, we went from two Mexican ladies from Mexico. I assume they were from Mexico. That's what I heard, allegedly. But I saw it with my own eyes in real time. But two ladies, regardless, who literally literally, unbelievably, trying to help or not, literally took a shovel, some kind of poker or some kind of rod, and walked straight up in front of the media and the world while everybody was watching. Walk right into the yard of Nancy's property line and right there in the yard of her neighbors, and literally started digging. So we went from that to yesterday, Savannah coming out begging again on video for the recovery of her mom, of bringing her mom back, their mom back, and offering a $1 million reward, as well as her and her family donating another $500,000 to the National Missing and Exploited Children. You know, I think she and her family may be coming to terms, in my opinion, without this life-saving medication her mom so desperately needs and needed. And, you know, blood being there, that there may be a real chance that her mom may not be with us no more. Hey, Patty, good to see you. And I think that she and her family think it will be an absolutely miracle if she has survived any of this at all. And it will. It will truly be a miracle. Look, they deserve answers, justice. They deserve, most of all, they deserve their mom back. They deserve their mom back, no matter who is involved or who is not involved. And better yet, Nancy. Nancy deserves better. So again, Savannah Guthrie and her family announced that they are offering a $1 million private reward for information leading to Nancy's recovery or to an arrest. This is in addition to federal and local rewards already offered. This is in addition to, so pay attention. Thank you, sweetheart. But the family said they still believe in miracles and they are desperate for anyone with information to come forward. So if you know anything, please say something. Don't keep quiet. Please don't keep quiet. She acknowledged that her mother may already be gone, expressing both hope and the painful reality that more time has passed with no confirms of anything. And she's scared and she's worried that her mom may be with her dad right now up in heaven. That's kind of how she put it. So I think she's kind of coming to terms with that, but they want their mom back. They understand that. But they're not giving up. Plus, look, people, you don't just give up. You don't just say, oh, well, when something like this happens. Listen, everyone's human, dead or alive. You don't just trash people. I know some out there do, or they think they do, or they think they're supposed to, or it's nothing to them. But you don't just trash people. I mean, what's happened to this world? Let's watch something on video, shall we? Give me a minute because I left my mouse at home, and guess what? I always use my mouse. I brought my brush this time, but I didn't bring my mouse, so hold on. We're going to see if we can share this. Hold on. I can do it. I'm just going to be a little bit slower. This is full credit to Entertainment. Hey, Gypsy. Hey. Yeah, I had my times messed up because my computer transferred over with the time change. My phone's transferred over with the time change. However, my StreamYard didn't. So I'm not going to mess with it. I'm going to leave it like it is. I just got to remember to go back an hour or something like that. So I apologize for that. Hold on.
Since our mom was taken
This is
in the
Entertainment.
dark of night from her bed, and every long night has been agony since then. We still believe that she can come home. We also know that she may be lost. She may already be gone. She may have already gone home to the Lord that she loves and is dancing in heaven with her mom and her dad, and with her beloved brother Pierce, and with our daddy. But we need to know where she is. For that reason, we are offering a family reward of up to $1 million for any information that leads us to her recovery. Someone out there knows something that can bring her home. We are begging you to please come forward now. It is day 24 since our mom was taken in the dark of night from her bed, and every long night has been agony since then. We still believe that she can come home. We also know that she may be lost. She may already be gone. She may have already gone home to the Lord that she loves and is dancing in heaven with her mom and her dad.
I did bring my brush. Yes.
And with our daddy. But we need to know where she is.
At least
for that reason, we are offering a family reward of up to $1 million for any information that leads us to her recovery. Someone out there knows something that can bring her home. We are begging you to please come forward now. It is day 24 since our mom was taken in the dark of night from her bed, and every long night has been agony since then. We still believe that she can come home. We also know that she may be lost. She may already be gone. Okay, so that part right there, y'all heard it a couple of times. So I think she's coming to terms, or they're coming to terms, and they have talked about it, I'm sure, behind the scenes, that she may be lost. She may be gone forever. But they still have hope. And either way, they still want her back. They still need her back. And again, you don't just trash people. Again, I asked, what is wrong with this society nowadays? This is not how things should be. Yeah, I brought 2 of them this time. I looked in my bag and I'm like, I got both of my brushes. But then I got my computer out. I just got it out today and I'm like, where's my mouse? I called my son and I'm like, can you check my office and see if my mouse is in there? I'm like, oh my God, I got to go buy another one. I can't deal with this. And then I said, how do I plug it up? He's like, you just
plug it up the same way. I'm like, oh my God, I'll call you when I get another one. We'll walk through this and we'll work through it. When I tell you I can't work the computer, I mean that, honey. Don't make me go get no front desk people or no maintenance people, because honey, I don't know what I'm doing. Mm-mm, mm-mm. I don't know. Hold on a minute. It's not supposed to be like what? Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. Hold on. Let me tell that's my granddaughter. I never hear from her. Let me tell her I'm on the live. I'll call you after. Sorry, y'all. That's my granddaughter. She never texting. Well, she not this late, but she's okay. I'm like, what? She wants me to read some kind of text or something. I'm like, Anyway, so don't let me get distracted. But anyway, yeah, family always comes first, honey. For me, and if y'all don't like that, I can't help that, honey. That is what it is. But anyway, Savannah, yeah, she looks gypsy, honey. From the last time she did her interview, she looks very broken. She looks terrible, and I don't mean that in a negative, bad way or anything. You can tell, she's beat. I was talking to somebody today, and I said, no matter what, I said, you can tell from way back in the younger days, honey, her and her mom was close. I mean, if I didn't know them, I mean, and I don't know them like personally, but like if I didn't know who they were or anything like that, you can tell they were always close from way back. And she's having a hard time of this for real, and she just looks broke. So it's just very sad, very sad. Hold on just a minute. Let me share something else here. Hold on. Let's see. And we know the FBI swarmed down on her house today. We'll get to that in a minute, honey. That was what? See if I can get this one up.
Thanks for joining us tonight at 5. The FBI has apparently gathered some new evidence from the home of Nancy Guthrie. We captured agents who returned to the home and backyard casita in Tucson today.
Yeah, it's still unclear why investigators returned to the home today, but it comes right after the reward money was increased to $1 million by Nancy's daughter, Savannah. Steve Nielsen is in studio tonight with what happened at the house today. Steve.
Yeah, well, it's been a little while since we've seen FBI activity at Nancy Guthrie's home, and investigators were there for hours today. Now, for the last 2 weeks, we've mostly noticed pool cleaners, landscapers, so this was an unexpected development today. The Fox drone team flew over the house as investigators entered the home, some dressed in plain clothes, and Fox News reporting that some of those were federal prosecutors on scene. They walked into the backyard, around the pool, into the back patio. Later, as you see here, someone wearing blue gloves walked out of the casita into the back with something in his hand, some piece of evidence there. How they got into this scene, very interesting, though. 3 black SUVs, one with blacked out windows. You couldn't see into it. It opened the garage door, drove in, then shut the garage door, and then left some hours later. It's unknown who was inside of that SUV, though. At 3:30 on Fox 10 Talks, we spoke with Lance Leasing, a former FBI special agent, on today's developments.
It is common to go back to a crime scene, whether you're bringing new investigators back there, maybe a new agency jumps in and needs to be briefed and wants to see it. Sometimes you bring lab analysts even back there to see where things were collected and get a feel for it. Sometimes prosecutors go to a crime scene later in the investigation. So all of these could be possible. The fact that they carried bags of items out, that's a little unusual this far after the crime occurred. I'd be very curious what those are and how much value that would hold.
You can watch that full interview on Fox 10 Talks on our website, fox10phoenix.com. The FBI told Fox News that they have received 1,500 new tips since Savannah Guthrie increased that reward money to $1 million yesterday in her new video. Steve Nielsen, Fox 10 News.
So I don't know if y'all have heard any more updates or any more as to why they went there, but that was wild. There was so many cops and FBI agents there today. I don't know why. I don't know what was going on. I'm sure we'll hear more as the night and morning goes by. They took some things or whatever. But why 3 weeks later? Why a little bit over 3 weeks later? Why after the reward money came out? Why are they moving in now? I don't know. There's too many why questions, if you ask me. When they first did come out with Savannah putting out the reward, it was like nobody was searching. First, we had people digging with shovels and rods, and then nobody was coming out to search. And then I don't know. So I think they are gathering a search team up now. But somebody does know something. I say, yeah, same thing. I'm with Funny Face Brenda. Keep those tips coming in. Keep them coming in. Because I don't understand why there is so much going on. You got so many people involved. I was, literally, I've been so busy, and literally little smart ass was on here this morning. In my comments. We won't go into that again. But I was literally on the phone with Seth a while ago. And, we communicate. And, I don't understand why, there's sympathy here. The whole world is watching. But you got the president in this putting, this is not about politics, his 2 cents in. You got Kash Patel, you got, all these things going on, and you got movement and good. I'm on this because there's news on it every day. I'm here. When I physically can be, because if I don't have personal things to do, because my life comes before any of these cases, any ANY of these cases. But, nobody like Sebastian gets anything like this. You can't even get people to come out and speak. It makes no sense. Hey, second to number one. I can't even speak tonight, honey. Can't even speak. So, it's not right. Everybody should get the same treatment. Everybody. But they don't. They don't. Everybody is human. New reporting also indicates that one of these images released by FBI of a masked suspect may have been captured on a different day than the night of the disappearance, complicating the timeline of these events. Well, this whole case, in my opinion, is complicated. So I don't know. I said it publicly before that this could be a dry run. Who actually knows? I don't know. Do they even know? But I said before also that it may be more than one person. That's been looked at as well. I still say, in my opinion, that more than one person is involved. At least two, possibly three. I don't know, but that's my opinion. All we know for sure, 100%, unless something's changed in the last couple of hours by law enforcement, by their mouth, even if they are wrong or even if it is strategy, is that the family is clear. And the family is all victims. And that 100%, that was Nancy's blood on the porch. Well, that's no surprise. And they're getting many tips that they are working on. That I can believe. Nancy, y'all, she's not just a case, though. She's a mother. She's a grandmother. And she is someone who lived 84 years on this earth, 84 birthdays, 84 winters, 84 summers, 84 memories, 84 years. And now, just silence. That silence is loud. No confirmed sightings, unless, but it hadn't been proven. You want to call on the very same day, the very same timeline that allegedly she went missing. There was a car with no tags with somebody screaming out the window. We're weeks into this, people. There's been no verified proof of life, no answers. Nothing. Nothing. Same age your mother would be. Got another video I want to watch that was very interesting to me. Very interesting. And some of these you got to realize y'all might have already seen, but I'm just catching up on. So sorry, y'all got to catch up with me. Uh-oh, wait a minute. Oh, shit. Here, I need my mouse. Okay.
Hi there. I'm coming on to say it is day 24 since our mom was taken in the dark of night.
Full credit, Nancy Grace.
And every hour and minute and second and every long night has been agony since then, of worrying about her and fearing for her, and aching for her, and most of all, just missing her, We know that millions of you have been praying. So many people have been praying of every faith and no faith at all, praying for her return. And we feel those prayers. Please keep praying without ceasing. We still believe. We still believe in a miracle. We still believe that she can come home. Hope against hope. As my sister says, we are blowing on the embers of hope. We also know that she may be lost. She may already be gone. She may have already gone home to the Lord that she loves and is dancing in heaven with her mom and her dad and with her beloved brother, Pierce, and with our daddy. And if this is what is to be, then we will accept it. But we need to know where she is. We need her to come home. For that reason, we are offering a family reward of up to $1 million for any information that leads us to her recovery. All of the information about this reward and the details is in the caption below. You can call the 1-800-TIP line. You can be anonymous if you want. Someone out there knows something that can bring her home. Somebody knows. And we are begging you to please come forward now. We also know that we are not alone in our loss. We know there are millions of families that have suffered with this kind of uncertainty. And for that reason today, we also are donating $500,000 to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children for their work in helping families who are coping with loss and actively looking for those who are lost. We are hoping that the attention that has been given to our mom and our family will extend to all the families like ours who are in need and need prayers and need support. So please, if you hear this message, if you've been waiting and you haven't been sure, let this be your sign to please come forward, tell what you know, and help us bring our beloved mom home so that we can either celebrate a glorious, miraculous homecoming or celebrate the beautiful, brave, and courageous and noble life that she has lived. Please be the light in the dark. Thank you.
After watching Savannah, it's really hard to go forward analyzing facts and evidence as we know them tonight. Her heartbreak and her composure is overwhelming. It is day 24. Savannah Guthrie's mother, Nancy Guthrie, missing. I've prosecuted, investigated, and tried a lot of cases, more than I can even count. I've covered 100 times that many, and I've never seen anything like it. Good evening. I'm Nancy Grace. This is Crime Stories. I want to thank you for being with us. Every trial lawyer, if they're a good trial lawyer, somehow compartmentalizes and tries the case and moves forward with a clear and concise analysis of the evidence in order to get a true verdict. And that is sometimes very, very hard. I want to analyze what we're hearing from Savannah herself before I go on to the evidence that we're learning about tonight. Number one, straight out to Dr. Bethany Marshall joining us, renowned psychoanalyst out of the LA jurisdiction. Dr. Bethany, she's making it very clear that her family is upping the reward to up to $1 million in addition to the FBI award, that reward, $202,000. But she makes it clear, in my understanding, that they recognize, this tastes like dirt in my mouth, that Mrs. Guthrie could have passed on. And this, as she quotes Thessalonians, asking,
So again, I mean, everybody that I see and all around the internet agree the same thing. I'm not just seeing things and I'm not hearing things. I think Savannah does understand, and her probably got with her brother and sister, and they understand that there's a good chance that her mom has not made it. Of course, miracles do happen. And as y'all can see, Savannah, man, she looks run through the mill. She looks run through the mill, in my opinion. It's terrible. My understanding is, and I don't know what to make of this, but my understanding is, because a lot of people said, why didn't she, if she has this money, put the money out before, blah, 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 blah. You know, I don't know all that, but I know this. It's coming out now that the sheriff's office told them, you know, don't put it out. We'll get so many, too many people, too many tricksters, whatever, fraudsters, scammers, whatever. The only thing I don't understand is, well, look, from day one, they had that happen. They made an arrest, and then they had all these ransom notes, and they can't find who's sending all the ransom notes, which is fake, obviously. And, well, you know, they said in their press conference from the beginning, it's up to the family what they want to do. Okay. Well, so be it. Let it be up to the family. Let them pay what they want. It's their money, and it's their mother. That's the way I feel about it. And if they try to stop them from paying, shame on them, because it was up to them to figure out about the scammers and the tipsters. And, oh, geez, I'm sorry if they had to work too hard if they thought that was the case. That's just my opinion. I don't have very much faith in them. But, yeah, keep the FBI coming in. Let's keep them coming in, because that's a great thing. They rolled in today. I heard Pima County tried to keep them out, keep them in the dark about the DNA. Whatever's true, if they're doing tit for tat, that needs to stop. Let's keep the FBI in there. Let's keep in their good graces, okay? Let's do that. How about that? Nancy needs to be found at all cost. That's just my opinion, my little 2 cents worth.
Everyone to pray without ceasing. Do you understand it the way I understand it, Dr. Bethany? She is saying that they have confronted the possibility their mom may have passed on and is with their dad and their uncle now, but yet still offering a $1 million reward and donating, at this time thinking of other people, donating $500,000 to National Center Missing Exploited Children. But are you reading it as I am reading it? Are you interpreting it the same way, Dr. Bethany?
Mom's alive. She's going to come back. Anger towards the kidnappers. And then there's the bargaining phase. If we do this, Mom will come home. If we were just better citizens, she'll return to us. So they've gone to the acceptance stage, denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and then acceptance. They're also people of faith, Nancy. They're profoundly spiritual, and they believe she's with them, whether she's in heaven or she's alive here on earth. But there's another factor, Nancy. This family, I believe, has considered the fact that the kidnappers will not go forward if she is deceased or if she died in the process of the kidnap. And they want to incentivize those kidnappers to come forth with information, even if their mother is gone. And Nancy, one final thing is so profound. This family has the capacity for deep, deep empathy. When you're depressed and anxious, all you can think about is yourself. That's part of the human experience. Not this family. They are thinking about missing and exploited children and other families who have gone through something similar. That tells me something about their character and their capacity to love.
Well, I hear what you're saying and what Savannah is saying about acceptance. I'm not accepting anything. I'm not accepting until somebody tells me Mrs. Guthrie has passed on. This is a kidnap case. We have not found a body. We have not gotten a hit from a cadaver dog. We can all speculate what may have happened. And maybe many people believe that Miss Guthrie passed on early on, and that's why proof of life has not been offered. I understand that reasoning, but I am not accepting that it's too late to save her life. So that's my mission. That's the avenue down which I am proceeding. But I find it overwhelming that at a time like this, Savannah and her family are thinking of other people. She goes on to not only offer the $500,000 to missing exploited children, but she recognizes what other people are going through and that they are suffering too, and that she can identify with that suffering. For those of you just joining us, Savannah Guthrie, and you can see her getting tireder, more tired, more tired, more tired, in all of her missives, more broken, more haggard, more exhausted. And we're practically going through the process with her. When it first started and she was flanked by her brother and sister, then enduring claims by the media and others that the family is somehow responsible for Mrs. Guthrie's kidnap. The days stretching into days, stretching into weeks. We have lived through that with her as we watch her begging the public that reward again tonight. The FBI reward $200,002, nearly $250,000 now. The Guthries adding $1 million, up to $1 million. For Pete's sake, if you know anything about Nancy Guthrie's disappearance, a mother and a grandmother, this is the time to come forward. And now we turn our attention, which for many of us is more comfortable to do than to be in that place of pain and suffering with Savannah, and turn our attention to the positive analysis of the facts. In the last hours, overnight, the theory has emerged, and we have addressed it here, I think possibly first, about the possibility that the perp has been in the neighborhood on an earlier date, that there is a second perp, but we can't tell all of this because the timestamps have been removed. They could not be salvaged. When Google went through the scratching process, trying to, out of literally trillions of data points, find Nancy Guthrie's door.
Okay, if y'all haven't saw this, she's gonna kind of explain or get somebody to explain this about the scratching process. I think that's very important too, why maybe the timestamp's not on that. If not for this, maybe for future things. So I think this is very interesting as well. Also, Chris McDonough will be on here soon and give his standpoint on things. A lot of people in this video thought it's possible that this was two different people. A lot of people thought that this was two different times. Nancy has a good point here, throwing a wrench in. She will ask, you will see about, could the lighting have anything to do with it, where one of the lights was, the floodlights was busted out. You'll hear the answer on that. And if this is the same photos, I'm not sure. I can't remember because I looked at it earlier in the day. but I looked at one on Court TV, like these very same pictures, and I want to notice the shoes. The shoes don't look the same, but again, if it was 2 separate days, they could have had on different shoes. I don't know. So again, was it 2 different people? Was it 2 different videos? I'm still not sure, but y'all can use your own thoughts and your own opinions. I'm just bringing you the information, honeys. What's out there?
Cam and resurrect it like Lazarus, for Pete's sake, resurrect it from the dead so we could see the perp. Okay, straight out to Crime Stories investigative reporter Dave Mack with the latest. What's the theory? I understand the part of the working theory as that this perp, the door guy, the porch guy, was in the neighborhood casing Nancy Guthrie's home before the night of the kidnap. Okay, explain that analysis to me. Explain what we think.
All right, Nancy, the reason that thought process is being brought up is because we have 2 very different photos of what appears to be the same person. In the one, we have him with his backpack on and the holster hanging down in front. That's where this alleged kidnapper is standing right in front of the Nest camera and trying to put the weeds on it. But then we also have this other photo that is in a similar looking size and shape of the Nest camera guy at the door, but he doesn't have the backpack and he doesn't have the holster. This is something that our team had separated early on, and it's like everybody now is just catching up. But we've been talking about this for over a week now, and yet there is no timestamp.
Okay, before we begin patting ourselves on the back, I think the FBI and Google were a little bit ahead of us, Dave Mack. But I want to analyze the 2 photos. Put them side by side, please, because a working theory now, are these photos on the same date? Are they different dates? And the significance is, did the perp approach the home of Nancy Guthrie on a previous date to case it? Now, look on the right. What clues do we see? Obviously, number 1, he's not wearing a backpack. He is not wearing his holster. He appears to be wearing the same pants and jacket, the same ski mask, but notice on the right, the rocks on the ground are in a different configuration. We know Nancy Guthrie had a yard person. Were those rocks removed? Were they somehow repositioned? And he is there on a different date. The lighting is different in the background. We see lights from apparently another home across the street. We are looking at the clues just like law enforcement and everyone else.
Okay, love you too, girl.
Do you see something different in the background to indicate this is from an earlier date? Now, back out to Dave Mack joining us. Dave Mack, Crime Stories investigative reporter. There are no timestamps on this, so we can't tell. Do we have any idea if this is allegedly connected to the night that neighbors were asked to look through their door cams, look through their surveillance video? I believe it was January 11. Is that a working theory that the perp was skulking on January 11?
That was the date that neighbors were asked to look over their surveillance video at their homes. It was September 11th between 9 p.m. and midnight. That's a 3-hour swath of time they're looking at. And now that you look at this separate photo, Nancy, if they were looking ahead of time, you're only talking a couple of weeks. I mean, it seems like a long time now, but really you're talking 3 weeks before the alleged kidnapping took place. And is this photo that we're looking at now without the backpack and without the gun, is that what we're seeing on somebody else's surveillance video that investigators are trying to find? Was this an earlier date? There is no timestamp. There is no date. So we're left with really just speculation at this point. Could have been taken the day of. It could have been taken later. Did the perpetrator have help? You know, did he take the backpack off and put it in the car? I mean, we really can go
Okay,
anywhere
hold on.
with
Now
this.
you're going down a different avenue. Hold on. Okay, I see what you're saying. Did he have help? If this was on different dates, that opens up the evidence in a major way. Straight out to Scott Eicher joining us, digital forensics expert, former homicide with Norfolk, Virginia PD, 12 years, founding member of the FBI Cellular Analysis Survey team. That's who's responsible for coming up with the digital data we've gotten so far. Once Nanos allowed the feds in, that was an unfortunate delay. But not only that, Eicher contacted CAST about using the Bluetooth Blue Fly technology to try and find Nancy Guthrie's pacemaker. It started on a helicopter, it moved to a drone, and that went on for some time. Scott, contacted them with that suggestion. Scott, why were the date and timestamps removed from this video? Because if they weren't, we would know a lot more tonight.
It would be great if we had the date timestamps on the video, but you got to remember the Guthrie family did not have a subscription to Nest. And in doing so, that data was not sent to their phones with a date and timestamp. So it was basically sent from the camera to the cloud. And then CAST was able to talk to Google, which we have a relationship in the past with dealing with other stuff, and had them kind of dig into, to scrape all that data to try to get down to these videos that we are seeing. Problem is, there's no dates and timestamps on them. So there is a lot of speculation on when these two different camera shots were made. And we know that the sheriff has said, don't make any speculations about this at this point in time.
Okay, so wait, please. Before we start dragging Nanos into this and all of his observations, could you tell me, in regular people talk, Eicher, were the date and timestamps scratched off in the process of reviving this video, or were they never there?
I don't know for sure. I suspect that the camera is connected to Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi information is immediately sent to the cloud via the internet, and then it's logged in and then sent to the subscriber if they had a subscription. Somewhere in that aspect where they didn't have a subscription, it didn't get a date and time. So thus we can't be specific on when those cameras were activated.
So you're thinking it never had a date and time stamped on it, not that it was lost in the scratching process. That's actually neither here nor there. I was just curious because you're the first person to explain the scratching process about when things are, video is taped over. It's like peeling away paint. You scratch. And if you're trying to get to level 4 and you're on 5, you don't want to scratch off level 4. You got to be very, very meticulous. Also joining us, in addition to Dave Mack, Scott Eicher, and Dr. Bethany, Chris McDonough is with us tonight. He is a seasoned homicide investigator. He is the star of The Interview Room on YouTube, and he has over 300 homicide investigations under his belt. Okay, neither you nor I are digital forensic experts, but
Sorry, it takes forever because I don't have my mouse. I'm sorry. So they explained all of that, and Chris is fixing to come on, and I like to get his insight. But also, like I said, news is reporting, that these images released by the FBI of a masked suspect may have been 2 different days. They're talking about why there's no timestamp on one, how it could be that the timestamp is not there is complicating things, and the timeline of events. So I don't know. I don't know. What do y'all think about that? Do y'all think it's 2 different days? I mean, what are you thinking in your opinion? Because I just don't even know what to think. We know, what law enforcement said, for sure. We know what they said. And they're not saying much. They're not saying much about that. All I know is the silence is very loud. But we don't know for sure. We don't know for sure about this. I don't know. I don't know if it's 2 people. I don't know if it's 2 different days. It bothers me also that computer, that picture of that computer that was on the dishwasher, or not the dishwasher, the sink behind Savannah and her mom, that keeps coming up to me by different people, and it's been showed. I don't have it pulled up right now. I wasn't even going to speak on it on this, but I did post that, and I had the question myself. People talked about that, and I'm like, that's a fake photo. Well, when I really stopped the other day, because I haven't had much time, although I've been listening and all that, when I really stopped and I really looked at it, what I was trying to say in my post was, I don't think that was fake. The problem is what was on that photo, because the more I looked at it, what was that on there? Who was it? Somebody? What was it? I'm not quite sure. So what was really going on in that computer right there? Was this a couple of times? How long was this going on? Because we know Savannah was in town. We know Savannah had dinner with her mom. What was really going on there? Don't know. I don't know. But it does beg to differ, that question. And I think it's a fair question.
We've solved a lot of cases through good old-fashioned detective work and common sense. What's your take, McDonough? What is your take? Was this the same night and the guy approaches without a backpack, then he goes back and gets the backpack and approaches with it, the backpack? I mean, does that make sense? Maybe. Or is he skulking on 2 different dates?
Yeah, so if we start with the premise like you're discussing here, Nancy, about looking at the 2 photographs as a whole, the first thing that strikes me is in the video, when he's walking up to the property, you can clearly see there's a backlit illumination of some sort.
Hold it. Control room, please play the video as McDonough is speaking. Okay, go ahead, Chris. Thank you.
That's right. And so you can clearly see that there's some type of light source behind him. And that night, as he's approaching the porch, you can see a shadow on the ground. So I looked that up, and it was right there. You can see the shadow. That means it was a full moon that evening. Okay. And I looked it up, and in fact, it was. And so the second now, if we look at the second photograph of the gentleman standing, at the archway there, we don't see that behind him backlit like that. We don't see a shadow being cast onto the sidewalk as he's standing there right there. And you see it's also much darker behind him. So that would lead me towards, from an investigative analysis aspect of this is possible. It could be 2 nights, 2 separate nights. Now, like Scott has said, we don't know that for sure. However, from an investigative analysis aspect, investigators are looking at this and going, okay, why is it so dark behind him here? And then that other video, why is it not so dark at that point? Because it appears it could have been 2 separate nights. The most disturbing
Okay,
piece,
hold
if
on.
an
Let me throw a possibility into your scenario.
absolutely,
We know that a floodlight was disabled. When he approaches and it's very well lit in the background, as you
All
were
right,
pointing
that's
out,
what I was
Chris,
talking about. That was a good point.
if the floodlight was taken out, let's just say he goes, okay, I'm going to get rid of the floodlight. What if, could that possibly explain the lack of light in the other photo as opposed to the waxing waning moon? I'm just throwing that out there as a possibility.
it's always a possibility, Nancy, but you see the infrared is responding to the light in this particular video here. And you see he's even turning on his light. So he's having a hard time, seeing exactly, what's in front of him at this moment. So, but I think if these are two separate times, hypothetically, at this point, the most disturbing part of this, if they are separated, is he came the second time armed and prepared to use deadly force. That is an uptick in his behavioral pattern.
We are carefully reviewing the evidence over and over and over. I want to follow up. Dave Mack, we have heard from Nanos and others, possibly Patel. What are they saying about the theory that the porch guy was there on a previous occasion skulking?
Well, they're saying that everything is speculation, Nancy, that with no timestamp, with no proof of anything, everything is purely speculation. So we're left with that. So no conclusion being drawn from investigators at this time. But you can clearly see, as Chris McDonough just pointed out, there's a lot to go through on these videos and on the clip.
Hi, guys. Nancy Grace here. Between the grocery store
Okay, and I truly, every time they show his hand up there, I said it before over and over, I even circled it and posted it in black. I truly believe he has some type of huge, hey Cassie, hello. I truly believe he has some type of huge ring on his finger popping through. So I thought about it. Guys wear rings too. There's all types of rings. But I thought about it. I don't know. I was thinking about it the other night. Do they still wear turquoise rings? Do they have those big, gawky turquoise rings up in that area? I don't know. But I know one thing. Whoever this is, whoever this was, and if their mom is still alive, they're going to know through them eyes, through that walk, even how they slump them shoulders. Somebody's going to know who this person is. I would hope that no matter how much it hurts, that they would come forward with that information or what they thought or think. Even they could be wrong and this person could be ruled out. Yet some kind of biker ring or some kind of turquoise ring, I know I just don't know. But it's some kind of bulky ring. And, does anybody know, Cassie, or maybe you can send them later, what kind of rings he wore? Again, not accusing anybody. I would just be curious to know. Look, unfortunately, even if I was family, same goes in other cases that I even asked other people if you were not there, and we don't have to mention names. Look, man, even for a split second, you got to wonder these things. You know, even if it's not them personally, was this a hit for hire thing? What is this? What? Look, this is strange. But it's not without evidence. It's not without video. It's not without these things. Hey, Tennessee Nana. Hello, hello, hello. Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. Thank you so much, honey. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing well. I know, Cakes. You know, here's the thing. That is the thing. I mean, from day one, she needed life-saving medication. And I believe, even though she had a strong mind, a good mind, I mean, she probably fought. And maybe that's even where, you know, it is a possibility even in that car. And wasn't that funny? They said no plates. Huh. So again, does somebody know something? I don't know. Was that just coincidence? I don't know. But no matter what, she needed, and they came out from the get-go and said life-saving medications. It's been over 3 weeks. You're right. She needs to be in the hospital no matter where she's at. And she was bleeding. Come on now. And we know she had heart problems, but what we don't know, and you know, some things they probably are not coming out with, is any other health problems she may have had. And listen, you have heart problems, that's enough to give you heart failure, you know? So I don't know. I just don't know. Yeah, Tennessee Nana. I get it. I'll look, Cassie. I hadn't looked in a few hours, so I'll look. Thank you. Let me go back to this. Uh-oh. I'm working, for those that don't know, without a mouse, and I'm silly when it comes to this stuff.
And insurance premiums, even with a steady job, more families are being forced to rely on high interest credit cards just to cover expenses. If you're a homeowner carrying balances with interest rates in the 20s, it's time to get relief. American Financing is helping homeowners pay off debt at rates in the low 5s. On average, their salary-based mortgage consultants are saving customers $800 a month. Plus, if you start today, you may even delay your next 2 mortgage payments. There are no upfront fees. America's home for home loans is American Financing. 866-888-0344. 866-888-0344. Or just go online and visit AmericanFinancing.net/Nancy. And good luck
to her to be
also tonight.
My opinion.
Evidence that on the very same night Nancy Guthrie goes missing, around the same time in the early wee hours between 2 and 3 a.m., a 911 call was made about a woman screaming from a car. Yeah. Listen.
10-4, it's going to be at Oracle and River. The caller is advising they saw a female out of a vehicle window screaming. Then it went northbound on Oracle. The vehicle was a dark gray or blue Chevy Malibu, no plate. Advised that the female was hanging out of the window wearing all black, and the door was also open.
Okay, cover me up right there, okay, because I was looking off to the side, please. Okay, I'm gonna listen to it one more time. Guys, I don't want to miss a single word. Let's hear that one more time.
10-4, it's going to be at Oracle and River. The caller is advising they saw a female out of a vehicle window screaming. Then it went northbound on Oracle. The vehicle was a dark gray or blue Chevy Malibu, no plate. Advised that the female was hanging out of the window wearing all black, and the door was also open.
Straight out to Crime Stories investigative reporter Dave Mack. I found this on Twitter, X, from our viewers sending in ideas, theories, photos. What do you know about this, Dave Mack?
Well, Nancy, this dispatch recording came from February 1st, but at 2:01, between 2:01 a.m. and 2:04 a.m. This is at the exact same time we believe the kidnapper or kidnappers were in the home with Nancy Guthrie. Again, 2:01 to 2:04. And by the way, this is about 3 miles from Nancy Guthrie's house. So we've got a car with no plates. Now, who drives a car with no plates, right? You've got a woman screaming out the window. And beyond that, the door actually is open as well, like she's trying to jump out. She's wearing all black. We know this is taking place at the exact same time of the Nancy Guthrie kidnapping, 2:01 to 2:04 a.m., February 1st. That's what we know, 3 miles from her house.
Is it connected? We don't know, but it's close to her home around the time she was taken. We can't really discount anything. Would you agree with that, Chris McDonough?
Yeah, absolutely, Nancy. I mean, you have to check the box and interview that 911 caller and really narrow down what her observations were. And then there are, you could look at the potential cameras in the area. There's some systems there that you could view pretty clearly.
To Scott Eicher, how do you separate what is important and what is not? I mean, you really have to follow every lead down, including this.
Yeah, I've worked in these type command posts before, and it's just a flood of leads. So you have a triage team that's trying to pull out what they think is important, send investigators out to handle right now, and something like this would be one of those in my mind. Hey, you got someone screaming, it's around the same time, whether it's connected or not, we need to go check it out. So you get the tape, interview
She's got
the caller, see if the officers were able to find that individual. Was it related?
Okay.
Was it not? So
Thank you.
thousands of things like this are taking a lot of time for the investigators to work through.
Question back to you, Dave Mack. Wasn't there evidence of law enforcement looking at a vehicle from a nearby Circle K?
There was, Nancy. Law enforcement was investigating. There's a Circle K near Nancy Guthrie's home. Law enforcement went there to try to retrieve video recordings, surveillance video from the parking lot of a dark blue or gray colored vehicle. Those were the basic facts. And we do know that law enforcement was able to obtain surveillance video from another Circle K, this one a little further away from Nancy's, but between her home and the home of Annie, her daughter, where they did retrieve surveillance video focusing on a very specific vehicle.
And I want to circle back one more time to the perp on the front porch. The January 11th date is the day that law enforcement asked neighbors to look at their video, to look at their home surveillance video. And there is a theory that the second perp skulking date was around January 11. And I think that is what is lending to a lot of speculation that the kidnapper had been to her home before. If he had been there before, to you, Chris McDonough, that would open up a wide variety of investigative possibilities. Video of that day, cell phone data of that day, license plates of that day, a lot more evidence if we could establish he had been there before. Agree or disagree?
No, totally agree, Nancy. You're 1,000% correct. And it also helps in the investigation to understand that this guy has concealed himself before the event. That's what we would call pre-event incident behavior, right? And then we have pre-behavior, incident behavior, post-behavior. And this would tell us a lot about his digital footprint that Scott can tell us more than we could possibly imagine here. But it would give the investigators a really good opportunity to open this thing up. Because the other thing, if you start looking at some of the other Ring camera videos of the burglaries, and I think there's like, a couple of thousand burglaries in the Tucson area around that time frame. Notice most of those guys that are doing this are not wearing masks. Okay. And so that's kind of a really big indicator in this guy's behavior pattern. And that would move us forward to putting him on the porch the night of Nancy's abduction.
I'm just thinking back on that $1 million reward that the Guthries are putting up. For Pete's sake, to you, Iker, you've handled a lot of cases in homicide in Norfolk, Virginia. It's always the girlfriend, the wife, the ex, the grandma, the mother, the next door neighbor lady that notices something odd, something unusual, and comes forward. It just with $1 million on the table, don't you think that will make a difference, Iker?
I do think it'll make a difference. Everybody has their price. Everybody has to kind of evaluate how it is going to affect them if they come forward. So you got to take that into account, that $1 million is going to help you, and you can stay anonymous. But you gotta remember that these people are scared. Whether they're involved or not, or know something, they're going to be scared. And I think Savannah's plea to them was just heartfelt. I think it was just,
I think that was the
showing them that, hey, it can be okay if we just give Nancy back to us.
American homeowners, the FBI has been warning about a type of real estate fraud called title theft. Your equity, the target. With just a forged signature, your ownership can be transferred out of your name. And without protection in place, you're left with an emotional and financial nightmare. That is why we partner with Home Title Lock, so you can find out today if you're already a victim and protect yourself. Use promo code Nancy at HomeTitleLock.com to get a free title history report. Free title history report, plus a free trial of their $1 million triple lock protection. That's 24/7 monitoring, urgent alerts, and if you are a victim of fraud, they will spend up to $1 million to fix it. Please don't be a victim. Protect your equity today. You've been working your whole life and putting money into your home. Don't lose the equity. That's HomeTitleLock.com. Promo code Nancy, or just use the link below, and good luck. Also, we are learning tonight that the backpack that was found was not connected in any way, as we had deduced here on Crime Stories when we first heard about it. It was just, for me, it was just too close to a homeless embankment. So obviously the law enforcement has figured out who it belongs to and ruled that out. Now, to the DNA, joining us, a real expert in the field, Susanna Ryan. She's a laboratory director of forensics DNA analyst at Pure Gold Forensics. She is a forensic DNA consultant at Ryan Forensics. And believe it or not, she's been in the DNA business for over 25 years. Susanna Ryan, thank you for being with us tonight. First of all, I want to talk to you about the bloody glove and the rock that were found by a couple. I want to talk to you about how do you get DNA off of a rock that has been out in the elements, and will that affect getting a DNA match, if possible?
Certainly, being out in the elements can have an effect, a detrimental effect on DNA. We do know that things like heat and humidity, exposure to rain, those can, or any other kind of moisture, can degrade DNA. So it can start to break down the DNA molecule, which makes it more difficult for us to be able to then go back to it and copy those segments of the DNA. If it was indeed blood on a rock, I would expect a large amount of DNA to be present in the blood. We do know body fluids tend to have lots of DNA. So that, you could probably just swab the rock. If this is something they think a very small amount of blood is present, or they think this rock was somehow touched or handled, then I would consider using something called the MVAC, a wet vacuum method of collecting DNA. It's really good at collecting from porous surfaces, something like a rock where the liquid that's being sprayed down can get into all those cracks and crevices and then be collected and tested.
Wow, I hadn't thought of a wet vac. Thank you. Susanna, I also want to talk to you about the newly discovered DNA inside the Guthrie home. I don't mean new DNA that was just deposited there. I mean newly discovered when the feds came in after local authorities had already searched the home. Will every person that had worked on the case and been in the home, since there was a time lapse, several days, if not a week, before the feds were finally invited in. That was an unfortunate delay. That said, will each one of those people have to be ruled out by giving their own DNA to compare to the newly discovered DNA? How does that work?
I think that would be a good idea, just because we know that so many people have been in and out of the home to, process the scene, collect DNA, and as careful as they probably are, this is not, saying anything against them as investigators, but no matter how careful you are, it is possible to transfer your own DNA inadvertently. Even if you're wearing gloves, you happen to touch your face, then you touch something else, you could get your DNA on that item. So if they're getting DNA profiles and they are,
I don't know how the sheriff can rule every.
They have the family members, people that they know were in the home. They ruled all of those people out. It would definitely be a good idea before they spend a lot of time, money, and effort to try to identify an unknown person, that they rule out everyone who has been an investigator in that home that could potentially have touched or contaminated an item. So I think they probably have a database, an internal database of people who have been in the home. They can quickly compare any unknown profiles to that sort of internal database. And if they are left still with an unidentified profile, then that's what they're going to want to focus on and spend their time, money, and effort on trying to identify that person.
So to Suzanne's point, I've noticed that floor mat, that welcome mat into the front door is still there. The authorities need to go get that mat, because you watch that suspect, he is standing in that video on that mat. And what Suzanne's talking about, the MVAC, you could actually pull DNA potentially from his shoes, and keep me in the right lane here, Suzanne, that, if he's got some type of transfer, it could still be on that mat on the front porch. So Savannah needs to get that mat, or at least get the authorities to go grab that mat at the front.
What about it, Susanna?
Yeah. So, yes, I would have concerns about the amount of DNA, number of contributors. When you're walking around, you've got DNA that you're picking up, that you're constantly transferring. Now, if he's standing on there for a while and he's got that flashlight in his mouth and he's looking down and maybe some saliva comes out, that's where, perhaps then we have one contributor that's a little bit more. So we have someone that we can pull out and isolate from all the other sort of background DNA, the other contributors. Certainly in a case like this, where it seems like they're testing just about everything, then yes, I am surprised that they didn't collect that. It did seem, at one point we talked about the plants, the vegetation that he held in his hand. It seemed like that was outside for an extended amount of time as well. So it doesn't mean that it's too late to test, but the sooner you can get these items, the better. So yes, could be tested for sure.
And also another issue that has come up, isn't it true, Dave Mack, that now volunteer searchers are searching in defiance of Nana's telling them to stop?
Yep. Nancy, they actually have organized where they're meeting at a local retail establishment in the parking lot, and they're planning where they're going to go search. They even went to an area they call Underground Tucson. It's an area of tunnels that, the type of tunnels with the drains in them where homeless people take shelter at night. And these areas are less than 2 miles from Nancy Guthrie's home. It happens to be where the abandoned backpack was found, but these volunteers are doing this against what the sheriff is wanting, because they're trying to help. They just want to bring Nancy home, and they're just tired of not seeing the action they expected from a search standpoint in the area just around Nancy Guthrie's home.
Hi guys, Nancy Grace here. Please join us on Crime Stories and stream it first on Fox One. When breaking crime news develops, we investigate it and bring it to you. Bombshell updates, answers to unanswered questions from cases making the headlines and cases.
Oh God. Lord, I thought I was lost. I thought I was lost. Okay, so all that credit goes to Nancy Grace. I just thought that was a pretty good show she had there with everybody on it, and I wanted to show that. But yeah, and also we're weeks into this. There's no confirmed sightings, no verified proof of life, and just no simple answers at all. No, really no answers at all. So I just want to say this very carefully, but when an elderly woman, 84 years old, disappears and she has medical conditions that we were told early in the beginning was she needed life-saving medications, all time matters. That matters. But there is still hope. And hope is still very powerful. But hope is needed. Okay? Hope is needed. But no matter what, the hope is that we find her, regardless, that her family finds her. And they need to know where she's at. So all of you who know me know I say what I think and I speak from my heart. But I'm not here to accuse anybody without any facts. I'm not here to create any bullshit chaos. But I'm here to say Nancy deserves answers. She deserves answers more than anybody. And silence is not the answer. It's just not. So I'm going to say to whoever knows something, if you're scared, if you're in a panic right now, if it got out of control, it's still not too late. No matter what's happened, it's still not too late. It's not too late to tell the truth. It's not too late to say where Nancy is at. She's probably not with you, but it's not too late to say where she's at. It's not too late yet. But every day, every minute that goes by, trust and believe, that noose is getting tighter. It's going to be too late. Let this family breathe. Let them breathe again. Every day that you wait, that window closes just a little bit more. You're pushing it down. And it's almost going to be like it slams on your finger, or that car door slams on your finger. You know, people like this, listen, there is no perfect crime. You always think nobody sees you, but people see you. And in this case, oh, thank you. 25 months, Annabella. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Thank you, honey. Love you. You always think nobody sees you. But see, they do see you. And in Nancy's case, this case right here, they saw you. The world sees you. You're on camera. And somebody under that mask knows who you are. I don't care if you stuff that mask like some said. I don't care what you've done to alter yourself. Somebody knows who you are. People see you. And the truth has the way of coming out. I'd rather tell my own truth than somebody trying to assume and tell the truth for me, whether it's good, bad, or ugly. Let's keep Nancy human. Let's keep respecting Nancy. She earned respect in 84 years. So the least we can do is do that. That's the very least we can do. Keep watching, keep searching, keep praying. Thank you to everybody that is on the ground there, boots on the ground. Keep sharing everything. Somewhere in this big, huge world, no matter where it's at, Nancy's somewhere. She's an 84-year-old woman who deserves to come home. Either way. So I'm going to play us out. Whoever hears this, whoever sees this, if you know something, say something. Call 1-800-225 5324. Turn it in. Continue to send your tips in. But make sure that you call in. Don't sit on it. Bring her home. $1 million reward from the family in addition to what's already out there. Thank you for joining me. You could have been anywhere, but you are here. And I appreciate you all. Please hit that thumbs up on your way out. I'm going to play our song here. If I can get my mouse to go down to the music. Uh-oh. We're getting there. Slowly but surely. And drop yellow hearts for Nancy and praying hands. I hear her favorite color is yellow.
She was born and bred in Nashville, but she walks the beaches down in Florida sand. A mother, a wife, a daughter, a sister, trying hard to do the best she can. She found her voice with a heavy heart, looking for purpose with trembling hands. Giving this all a new start, moving ahead, speaking for ones who came. She says I am who I am, I'll stand my ground. Even when the nights get long fought cancer while she was searching. Stories that needed a gentle voice. We saw summer's name and felt the heart ache and tried to bring light where there was no choice. And when she heard of Sebastian, her sadness rose. She prays for truth through the noise. She'll follow wherever the story goes, seeking their dignity, a child's joy.